Welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today, in deck number 771, we're going to talk about Minn, Wily Illusionist. So for 3 mana, we get a 1/3 Gnome Wizard. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, create a 1/1 blue illusion creature token with this creature gets +1/+0 for each other illusion you control. This is the actual token there that represents it. So, we want to do a couple of things. We want to make sure that let me get that illusion out of there, that token, before I bury it in the deck, all right? We want to draw cards. We want to dependably be able to draw 2 cards, at least on every one of our turns. We would like to draw 2 cards on every single turn. And then we would like to capitalize on the illusion. So what I did illusion tribal, if you will. Phantasmal Bear, Phantasmal Image, Phantasmal Dragon, the Illusionary Serpent, Phantom Warriors, just unblockable, he's an illusion, Phantom Steed, Phantom Beast, Errant Ephemeron, and of course Lord of the Unreal to cap off the and to give them hexproof so that they don't, most of those don't insta-die when they get targeted. But there are a couple of other cards. Fairy Vandal does help the second card draw theme. But let's look at what the deck is really about, and that's card draw. And there's a bunch of it. So, we have Opt. Instant speed, draw a card. It can get you halfway there on somebody else's turn, right? It's not quite Brainstorm. Brainstorm gets you all the way there. On somebody else's turn, you want to Brainstorm, you get an illusion token. And these illusions get so much bigger for each other illusion. It's like they have a illusion-only coat of arms built into it. Witching Well, there again. You cast it on your turn, and you can spend the 4 and sack it on someone else's turn to draw 2 and get an illusion. To Merfolk Looter, there again, you can activate that ability at instant speed. Frantic Search, drawing 2 at instant speed. You find the Villain's Lair, instant speed. Yeah, you're drawing and then discarding, but that's fine. You're getting a who knows how big illusion out of the deal. Jace's Archivist, of course, we can activate. Dictative Crufix is just going to make sure that we draw 2 on our turn, right? That's... Kefnet can... that ability can draw you some. The Chemist's Insight just draws 2, and you can use this twice. Contact the Other Plane. I guess you can see I did put a value on instant speed card draw. Here, you're going to draw 2 at least, right? If I roll terrible, I'm going to draw 2. One of my favorites is Plagiarize, because if somebody's about to draw just a ton of cards and you plagiarize, that's pretty sweet. Now, yeah, there is the whole windfall thing. If you windfall plagiarize, that really makes an enemy of that game, right? Of course, we also have Prosperity to also help everybody draw. Teferi's Ageless Insight. If you would draw a card, except for the first one you draw on each of your turns, you draw 2 instead. So this can get you there with your Opt, right? Archmage Emeritus. Cast an instant or sorcery, draw a card. This also gets you there with your draw 1s. We have Gush. The only Gush I could find was in non-English, so draw 2 at instant speed. Murder of Crows. Whenever another creature dies, any creature dies, besides this one, you can draw a card. Yeah, you got to discard, but that's fine. Mole Drifter. Just draws 2. Jace's Ingenuity. Staff of Nims, another dependable card draw for your turn. Heightened Awareness. Now, I know a lot of people can't get past that first line on heightened awareness, but it's a personal Howling Mind. It does cost 5, and it costs you your hand. But timed right, it may not be that big a deal. Discarding your hand, obviously you'll know when it comes up, when you draw it. But I do have a bag of holding, because there are a lot of those cards that you draw and then discard. And like the height, I mean, you get to throw them all into the bag and then get them all back later on. Flow of Ideas is just mana for cards, and probably a bunch of cards. Mind Spring. Sphinx of the Magosi is a pretty decent, repeatable card draw spell. I mean, really it is. 3 mana to draw a card, and it gets a counter. Wow. And then, of course, the Sphinx of Enlightenment, using these cards that I got out of the game night thing. Target opponent draws a card, and you draw 3. Okay. Now, with all that card draw, the Psychosis Crawler's in there. I mean, it's his deck, right? I mean, really. So let's look at some mana ramp for this mono blue deck. Of course, we have that Soul Ring. High Tide does a lot of work in mono blue decks. Mind Stone, Thought Vessel, Ebony Fly, Sky Diamond, Silver Mirror, Orzhaka Relic, Unstable Obelisk could also be, Oh, my wizard class. You have no max hand size. I mean, we do have the Reliquary Tower, but need some redundancy on that ability, right? But then, when it becomes a level 2, you get to draw 2 cards. That's another ability you can use on another... no, because it's a sorcery ability. Well, you can use it on your turn. But then that last one, whenever you draw a card, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control, that really ramps this thing up into a killing machine. Now, Diplomatic Immunity is, of course, going to help us, our commander not die. Crystal Shard has dual purpose here. We have cards like the Mull Drifter in there that we would like to put back in our hand to repeatedly cast over and over. But we play a format where people love to tap out. And the Crystal Shard can punish folks for tapping out. A lot of times people will tap out until the shard is on the board, and then they see somebody's going to get got once. And then, people stop tapping out. But I put a slot of mine in there because it's an old personal favorite of mine. I love this card. I love the to change the color word things, the protections. The Sword of X and Y's are very, very popular. And to be able to just, nope, can really change their whole game plan. Now, let's look at some blue removal. Of course, we're going to start with just good old-fashioned counterspell. Negate. Mana Leak, there again, tap-out format. Spell Pierce. Arcane Denial. Rapid Hybridization does a pretty good, Curse of Verbosity. This should have not been in removal. Okay. But in the wrong category. Excuse me. But when Enchanted players attack, you get to draw a card. Each opponent attacking that player does the same. Meteor Golem, of course, just 187 Golem. To turn to Frog, there again, like the Humble, the white version. It's a great combat trick to kill something that is mean. And then we have our Sleep. Do we ever really get enough sleep? The aforementioned Reliquary Tower. Now, I like War Room because that's an ability that we can use on, somebody else's turn to draw a card. Sand Silos. If you get it early, you can, store you up some mana in it. Halimar Depths, or as I like to call it, Ponderland. Desert of the Mindful, Lonely Sandbar, because cycling lands. I probably should have even all the Cola cycling lands in here, because the Ageless Insight really loves the cycle. And then lastly, we have Mystic Sanctuary. Because we're in mono blue. I mean, that's a great card for mono blue. But that is it for Minn, our gnome wizard. Got our tokens there that we'll need. And we're going to go put Minn on the wall. Start another row. 771. Done complete. I do appreciate y'all watching. Y'all let me know what you think, and I've got more decks coming, and we are at, I think we're getting pretty close to making a dent in the D&D set to getting most of them done. What is there? 15 left? Cool. Anyway, that's what I've got for today, so we're going to go ahead and shuffle and cut.